Okay, hi everybody. You know what time it is? Yes, it's Dandadan time. Second to last episode. Whoa, almost done. Anyway, season two, parkour two, however you want to call it, episode 11. It's a kaiju. This was quintessentially the most insane episode for this season, aside from Evil Eye. Now, to make a very long short story, um, the group eventually meets up. The kaiju went gigantic, and a few things are realized. First of all, it can go invisible, and in this episode, it shows it has like lightning powers. This is kind of funny because this kaiju, in a way, kind of reminds me. Listen, as much as I like anime, I also love Godzilla. And this got me thinking about Space Godzilla in a way. I do kind of believe I do remember this from the manga, but I don't remember this part specifically. With it shooting lightning. But Space Godzilla does shoot lightning in Godzilla vs. Space Godzilla. So, that being said, it grows big. God, freaking Momo. By the way, props to our guy, Kenta. Whoa. This dude is essential otaku. Which we find out in this episode. So, they're running. We got Ari's there and Gigi. And they eventually run up to meet them. And they're like, oh! They start running away. It was hilarious. But they do stand and fight. Ari stands and fights the kaiju with Okarun and Momo. Eventually gets a little too heated. They start throwing cars at it. Momo starts attacking it. It gets to the point where Ari gets knocked out. And they have to head for the hills. It was an insane fight. And so once it started shooting lightning from its horn, I was like, yo, it's fucking Space Godzilla. So, at least to say, this is one of my personal favorite episodes, I think, of season 2. Only because of the fact it's freaking Space Godzilla. So, essentially, got gigantic, was shooting lightning, gang's gotta regroup. Unfortunately for Kenta, Gigi's old self comes back to haunt him, Evil Eye. What was absolutely insane. Eventually, he's on his back because he's carrying Kenta on his back. He's running. He's like, oh, God, you know. And he kind of sweats onto Gigi, Kenta. And at first, he's able to fight it, but then he just swings his fat face. And it's like, roar! And then all these droplets of sweat hit Gigi, and he reverts to Evil Eye. Now, this is what was insane. He takes Kenta's school bag and he throws it. He throws it to where they were all the way to the kaiju, and it knocks him down on the ground. Just to show you how powerful Evil Eye is. Now, during this exchange, he thinks, today's the day I get to fight him! Excuse me. And then he runs away to go to Momo's house to fight Okarun. Unfortunately, today's not the day, but they do find out when they get back to the house they can fight the kaiju. Because the kaiju actually starts walking towards them from the city all the way to where Momo's house is. What Okarun figures out is they can use her actual house. Because the entirety of her house is made of that nanoskin that Shrimp Man gave him. That guy who was made out of blocks. So they remember him telling him that guy told him, by using your imagination, you can shape the nanoskin to whatever what you want. So Okarun's unable to do it, but Kenta is. Now, because they're all together, their imaginations kind of colliding. So what Kenta eventually imagines was supposed to be, unfortunately, it doesn't go as planned, because Momo brings out Buddha. But here's the thing, it's a combination. Because in the back, it has these things on its back, which kind of may look like Gundam from Char's Counter-Strike. So he was trying to imagine, I don't know if he was trying to imagine Zeta Gundam, because he says it's Zeta, but it's got the horns. And I was like, yo, this is hype. Giant robot, giant kaiju fight. Let's fucking go. And that's what it sets up for next week's episode. Now, I do know a few things of what occurs after this fight. We get a reveal. We get a reveal of what exactly this kaiju is. I'm not going to spoil, but we get a reveal. So, but this was major hype. I have to give this a 9.5 out of 10. This was major hype, major all across the board. Fight was great. Animation was great. Now, I should mention, this is kind of spoiled territory, but it does come up later. This isn't the only time we're going to get a giant robot. It happens later, though. Way later. Way later in the next arc. But it's going to be more badass than what we got here. Because this is basically a giant robot mixed with Buddha. So, it's kind of weird. But it kind of looks like a Gundam in a way because of the thing in the back, which I think is like its funnels. So, kudos. Takeda. Giant robot fan. But, yeah, that was basically the episode. I really enjoyed it, top to bottom. Animation was great. The comedy was great. Across the board. What was also funny, which I want to mention, is that Okarun's carrying Ari back from where they were. Because he's like carrying her because he catched her before she got squashed by the kaiju. When they get back to the house, Okarun's concerned that she's not, responding on his arms. And then you see her face. He's just like, oh, she got this cutesy face hugging him. And Momo's like, get over there. And we almost had like a cat fight situation again. These two. I love the comedy routine between Ari and Momo. It's 10 out of 10. It's like both of them love Okarun. It's pretty obvious. And they always just go back and forth about it. But yeah, that's basically the episode. 9.5 out of 10 for me. We got one left. A lot of the shows are ending. A lot of them. So the one that won't end will be Gachiakuda, which will be every Sunday. I don't think I'm going to review an episode reviews for the fall. Yeah, so I think it's just going to be Sunday that you're going to see me do episode reviews. So say goodbye to this, unfortunately. Thursday's episode reviews and Saturday Kaiju number 8 episode reviews. Thinking about Kaijus. So yeah. But this is Bonkai 922. I'll catch you guys later.